Okay, we are back. From the break. All right, so this segment is going to be again, folks, really early, only I think like 10 moves, around 10 moves have been made, but we want to talk off season since there's going to be potentially a lot of limbo coming up. So me and Julio we've done three worst, three best moves of the off season. We're going to go through those, talk about why that is. Julio, should we start with worst so that we end on the best, or should we do the other way around?
Sure. Start off spicy.
All right. So we'll go worst, best. So what's your first worst?
I'm saying it's spicy, and I'm glad I'm drinking my wine for this. Max Scherzer.
Oh, wow.
Look. Amazing. Top three science.
I have that as my best, so we can kind of
interesting.
Those, right?
Okay, so here's my arguments for why it's the worst. I do not think a 37-year-old should be getting $43 million a year. That's it. I don't care how good you are.
That's a bad.
I don't care as productive of a year he was. That was great. You saw in the last month and a half, 2 months of the season, his arm just started falling apart. And he was kind of blaming it on, it was how Dave Roberts and that organization was kind of how they were pitching me. They would just pull me and not letting me go all the way through. Or maybe you should consider you're 37. And if this was any other team but the Mets, I think I would have been a little bit better. If you had a little more security in that rotation, I think with a little bit of okay with it as well. So like if you were re-signed with the Dodgers, I think it'd been that big of a deal. If you went to the Padres, I don't think it'd be that big of a deal. But him and DeGrom is the past couple of years has been awesome. But guess what? He's been hurt for majority of those years. And now you're going to be having a 37-year-old pitcher who at the end of the season was having a dead arm and he's going to be making $43 million a year with another pitcher who over the last couple of years, injuries are starting to catch up to him. And I wouldn't surprise me in these next 2 years, the Mets are just back in this pickle because it's like you put your dependency on there. I think it's a combination of dude is too old to get paid that much. But if it would be a little bit redeemable if he went somewhere that had more of a contingency plan. But like, I don't see a plan with this Mets team to do that. So I'm probably going to be wrong. And I'm not going to be shocked I'm wrong. And you can rub my face when I am. But you know damn well if I'm right, I'm going to be running around this room.
I mean, vice versa for me. He's been the most consistent pitcher in the last 15 years. No, not 15. 12. The last 12 years, he's been the most consistent pitcher in baseball. I don't know, like, what I mean, he has shown no signs of slowing down. I hear what you're saying. It might have been the workload is a little bit different and the adjustments are a little different for the last 2 months season. But in the playoffs, he still looked pretty fucking good. I don't know. I mean, nothing about him has shown that he can be anything but a much above average pitcher. He, in my opinion, should have won the Cy Young this year. It's conversation for another day. We'll save that for one of the open off-season pods that we have nothing to talk about. I like the move because it really gives them just a fucking insane 1-2 punch for the Mets. But I mean, you could argue the issue for them last year wasn't pitching, but now they're just like fucking dominant, where if they just get into the playoffs, they just have such an insane 1-2 punch up there to have to deal with for other teams. Like that's so intimidating. That's 2 of the top 5 best pitchers in the league. Like I don't think we've seen anything like that in years. I can't think of one off the top of my head except for like Detroit in 2012 or around that time when they had Scherzer and Verlander. That's the only one I can think of. Like
Cranky Kershaw, that 15 year.
Cranky Kershaw, yeah. That was a good one.
Hell, even this year with Scherzer and Buehler, they finished top 3 in Cy Young votes. But no, I see what you mean. Like they have that potential.
I love it. I love it. And like
I think it's there, but I'm just nervous. Like, dude, Father Time, man. Father Time is undefeated unless your name's Tom Brady.
Well, maybe his name is Also, Max Scherzer.
Chris, give me one of your worst.
Which, by the way, I have a take for why Father Time is creeping up on LeBron James, and I have evidence, but let's talk for off pod.
Ooh, talk off here.
My worst, Byron Buxton. The guy has been the most inconsistent prospect in like the history of baseball. He also is just an injury nightmare. And the Twins signed him to a 7-year like max deal. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that one. Like they definitely could have got him for a lot cheaper. Like, why are they throwing money at this guy? Is it just because they need a poster boy in order to sell season tickets? Like, I'm so confused by that entire thing. He's kind of not really tradable either because that contract is so big. No one's going to want to take on that in a couple years if it doesn't work out. Like, please, Julio, try to explain this one to me.
He's still pretty young. He's 27. I get it. The length is scary, especially for somebody who he hasn't played a full season. When he has played, he's been fucking electric. He was so good at points the times that he was playing.
Sometimes he's had
so
some
that's the risk
bad seasons.
But dude, if you break it down, he got 7 years, 100 million, which equals about roughly 14 mil a year. 14 mil for a guy who, if he can stay healthy for a season, is going to hit 30 home runs and steal 30 bases. That's a goddamn bargain.
That's just like, it's
especially with like kind of the prospects that are coming up. So I get it
because their team's not good. Mainly, that's the reason why it's like high risk, low reward because their team isn't good.
And I think the length is scary. That like, what if by year 4, like, yeah, his body has completely fallen apart, and even though you're not stuck with a $20-25 million price tag, you're still stuck with $14 million a year for a guy who's going to be playing less than like 80 games.
I'm trying to think of guys who got similar contracts, like kind of like that. And it was
Marcana.
Whoa. No.
Marcana's or
no. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm trying to think of guys in the past who have gotten similar contracts, like super long length. They've been above average, and you're just kind of like, whoa, that's a lot of money for that guy. Kevin Kiermeier and Alex Gordon come to mind, and the difference with that is those guys were consistently really good before they signed those contracts, and they are healthy and they're defensively just animals. And you knew that what you were going to get out of them every single day. And they've lived up to that. They've been the exact same person that they were when they signed those contracts. So it made sense. Byron Buxton is just like, he's all over the fucking map.
What's crazy too is, Vernon Wells. That's a good one.
Okay.
In terms of like guys like that comp,
I just don't remember that contract, so I can't speak on it.
He signed a fat contract with Toronto, and then Toronto unloaded it on the Angels. The Angels were just stuck with dead money and injuries with them. If he finishes 6 through 10 in MVP votes, he gets an extra $3 million bonus. And then every position higher, he gains another $1 million. So if he wins an MVP, he gets an $8 million payout.
Okay.
It's not going to happen, but
their team's not good. Their team's not, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could argue it's a building block for the future. Like the Alex Gordon contract, I think came the year or two before their World Series run. So it's like, okay, cool. Like they're building for the future. Kevin Kiermeier was the same thing. Like, well, they weren't good and they were trying to, they're building up their farm system, and they're like, okay, when it's kind of towards the middle of his contract, this team's going to be good. He's going to be a key piece to it. But like this, I don't really know. I just don't know what the fuck the Twins are doing. I'd have to look at their farm system more closely, but like, I don't know. It just came out of left field. It was so weird. And then 7 years, like, what the shit? 100 plus.
And then he saw his picture and he's like, my contract.
Yeah.
It's all funny.
All right. What's your first best?
Oh, I also love how we've been pulling like a devil's advocate with this. We've actually been like, Robbie Ray.
That's a good one too. I like that one. It didn't make my list, but that's a good one.
I freaking love this signing to death. Guy just won Cy Young.
Mhm.
He just won Cy Young, and now he's going to arguably the hottest team in baseball in terms of like their ceiling, where they can go in with the prospects, with the money.
They 100% can win the West. By the way, it's the Mariners. We haven't said that yet.
Yes.
He signed with the
Oh,
Mariners.
yeah.
They 100% can win the West next year.
And I think he actually signed like a pretty decent deal.
Yeah.
It's 5 years, 115 million. So his average salary is going to be around 21 million. A guy who just won a Cy Young. He was a workhorse this past year. He's going to be leading this rotation that it's going to be was pretty underrated throughout the year.
Yeah.
Now
and they need that dog, that leader, and they got it now.
Yeah, love it. Play and pitching in Seattle. You're going to go from more of a hitter's friendly division to the West, where you're going to be pitching in Seattle. You're going to be pitching in Oakland. I think the Mariners. No, you'll be pitching No, I'm sorry. He was going to be pitching in Colorado for whoever the NL rival would be for when they do the oh my god, interleague play.
Good talk.
But yeah, I love the rotation. Chris Flexen was pretty.
And dude, they're not done. I don't think they're done yet.
They're gonna get somebody else. They're trying to bring back Yusei Kikuchi, who was an all-star last year. He fell off the second half, but he's got the prospects. Marco Gonzalez. People, you can say what you want about him. I still really like him. I kind of compare him to like Sean Manaea and Logan Gilbert, who was their top prospect for a long time. He had a pretty decent rookie year. You're going to get another year learning from this guy. Yeah, I love this deal for Seattle. And there's nothing really bad I can say about it at all.
Yeah. All right. I don't have anything bad either, so I'm not going to add to it. My first one is what was Scherzer. So I guess we'll move on to worst again, because since we talked about the Scherzer deal already. My next.
We're back to would it be one of my worst now, right?
Do you want me to go since you just went, or you can do one of your worst?
I can do this all day. Well, because you went, I went, and then you did Scherzer.
Let me lead this off just in case we're the same.
Okay.
I don't think we will be, but Marcus Stroman to the Cubs.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
The Cubs just don't make any sense to me anymore. They punted on the season last year, and then now, I mean, all their moves. Clint Frazier, I guess Clint Frazier makes a little bit of sense, but a 1-year deal, not really. And Yan Gomes, like, are they preparing for the salary cap minimum? It almost seems like that's what they're doing. Like I don't know. It doesn't. I was so confused by that. Like I'm confused why Stroman would go there. Like you're gonna go from one shit team to another, like kind of hopeless team. Like wouldn't you want to go to a contender? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. It makes zero sense to me.
My hot take is he talked himself out of a contract with a better team. I think there was probably a chance that like other teams were willing to line him up, but he was saying some pretty absurd shit on Twitter over the last couple months, and teams were like, crazy. Nope, this dude's a nutcase. We're not going to. He was pretty much just like talking shit on the Mets, saying a lot of terrible things about the organization, which, hey, you might not be wrong, but it's like, you don't look, you're job interviewing. When you're job interviewing, the first thing you talk about in your job interview shouldn't be, oh yeah, my previous workplace was fucking horrible. Yeah. I hated it. No, idiot. Don't do that. So I 1000% agree with you. And it is really questionable, but get your money. Another one of my worst, I am going to go with Avisail Garcia. He went to the Marlins.
Yeah, that one almost made my list too.
Yeah, there we go. He's been like one of the most underrated kind of outfielders for the last couple of years. He had a really good year at the Brewers last year as kind of their fourth guy.
4 years, by the way, 4-year deal.
4-year deal. The reason I don't like it is kind of like what you're saying with Stroman. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. I thought you were tanking. I thought you were trying to build for like 2 years, 2 or 3 years from now.
You had Marte.
Yeah.
You shipped him. Marte was pretty expressive about, yeah, I'd love to come back to Miami. I want to resign. And you don't resign him. You bring in Avisail Garcia and you're paying him money that, like, maybe this could be one of those deals. I think it could backfire on us, and I think he actually could be like a pretty decent guy. But it's like it's more of like a confusion, like what's going on.
Yeah.
And then what did the Brewers end up doing? Cool, we lost you. We're going to trade for Hunter Renfroe. So now it's like they just upgraded you like nothing. So it's more of just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you made that deal, because like, what signals are you trying to show your fan base and baseball?
That Hunter Renfroe one, just real quick, is kind of weird because he was kind of a key part to that Boston team last year. But
And then the Boston got back Jackie Bradley.
yeah, that's a downgrade.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't have anything to add. It didn't make any sense to me. The Marte thing worked out though because they got Luzardo, but
that's the thing too. Their young arms are so stacked. You know, obviously like the novelty of like, hey, there's no such thing as not enough pitching kind of thing. But it's like, why would you get another guy?
I don't know. Maybe they think that with the young talent they have, they can compete next year. But in an expanded playoffs, maybe they can, because they did make the playoffs in 2020 with the expanded playoffs. I will say,
and they won, which was hella tight.
But they didn't really look very good last year. I don't know.
No.
I mean, I just feel like there's like a few more years of development there. I don't get that one in there. All right, good one. Kevin Gausman to the Jays.
Interesting.
It sucks that they lost Robbie Ray. That's a bummer. But I feel like this is the best loop in there. That replacement that you can get for the market that you have. I wonder if they were going after Gausman with the intention to also bring back Robbie Ray to have like a stacked 1-2 punch. That's something, and vice versa with the Giants. I wonder if the Giants re-signed Wood with the intention of bringing back Gausman. I thought anyway, it doesn't matter. But I like that signing for them, and I really like Kevin Gausman. I said it on this pod. I've said it to my friends who are Giants fans. I don't think he's like an ace. I think he's just a really good number 2 starter. But he's been quality for the past 4 seasons. I've seen nothing that would make me believe that he can't be that. So, I just like the signing for them, even though they,
it's funny,
lost their second best player, which sucks. But yeah,
when that deal went through, I was like, man, they've actually got like a pretty solid like rotation going out. I was like, oh, they got Gausman, they got Ryu, Alex Manoah had a really solid rookie year. Nate Pearson's coming up the pipeline, is like one of their top prospects. I'm like, wait a minute, you had the same thing last year with Robbie Ray. And what I don't get, I'm kind of confused. Like, who would you rather have at this point? Would you rather have Gausman or Ray? And you're paying them. Both guys make the same amount of money. Both guys are the same age. I think they're both up to this point are at the same career trajectory. I wonder what was the logic of like, why this guy, not the guy you already had there?
Like I said, I think they were going after both, but they just lost Ray. And they still could get another guy. I mean, they could, who knows? Maybe they go after Kershaw. Maybe they go after.
Ooh,
I'm totally blanking on other top pitchers that are available, but there's still like room to be made here. I mean, the biggest loss is losing Marcus Semien, but I mean, we've talked about that before. Bo Bichette's coming back, or not Bo Bichette. Sorry, fucking Biggio's coming back.
Kevin Biggio.
That changes things up a little bit, but I don't know. I like the signing though. So, all right. What's another?
I don't hate it. It's going to be a little bit of a cheating one, but I'm going to go the Mets outfield. Picking up Marte and Canna.
Oh.
I think one of the biggest struggles that's been going on, what happened this year.
Cheating. That's good because they came from the same place.
Yeah, and they're signed at the same time.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest struggles the Mets had last year, which it seems like it's been consistent over the last 2-3 years, is just they struggle. Their offense just struggles to get started. So you got arguably one of the best leadoff hitters with Marte, who is like one of the most dynamic guys, and then you got one of the most patient guys, and with Canna. And the great thing about Canna,
we saw the top,
and the great thing about Canna too is like you can like flex him in that lineup. Like, do you want to have him hit leadoff today? Cool. Do you want to have him hit second? Do you want to have him hit 6? and kind of be like the leadoff hitter for your third inning kind of thing.
Or you can have him hit fifth and like really like break open his power, tell him to start swinging for the fences.
Yeah. He's a really, and I wish we had like people who we knew people who did like a Mets podcast who can be like, hey, like this is an excellent deal that you got both of these guys.
Yeah.
And I think it's really going to unleash that spark plug. They're going to be the spark plug to help unleash that offense that I think Pete Alonso's power numbers are just only going to go up. Mm-hmm. It's going to be super interesting how they're going to be playing Marte and Lindor, because they're pretty similar players. Like they're both pretty fast. They're both very contact heavy, even though I think Lindor's got more power.
Well, Lindor sits around 30 home runs a season, so I'd imagine he probably hits third.
Yeah. Or hell, you can even put him two. You want to get as many at-bats as you want for him?
He'll probably hit second.
It makes and then they also picked up Eduardo Escobar, another switch hitter, utility guy, throw him wherever on the infield. This offense just got tremendously better in like 2 days.
And I don't know how defensively they did in the outfield last year, but I would assume it's an improvement. You just got two stud defenders, a former Gold Glover,
absolutely,
and a Gold Glove and a Gold Glove caliber player in Marcana. Two arms.
He can play all
two big
three
arms.
Outfielders, all three outfield positions.
Yeah.
He hasn't played any infield in a while, but like he had played first for a short time over the years.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's an awesome deal. I love both of them there. And I hope Marcana gets a lot of really good meals in New York.
Okay. All right. My last worst. You're gonna disagree with me, but Alex Wood for the Giants.
Go on. I want to hear why you don't like it.
I just think you got to do better, man. Like that was your issue in that playoff series last year. You pretty much had Logan Webb, and then like you kind of had some piss poor performances from pitchers in that series. So in theory, you'd want to improve that number 4 starter. I don't know, man. They were so good and they came so close, and clearly the issue was their starting pitching.
I'm going to blow your mind real quick. Who makes more money a year, Alex Wood or Byron Buxton?
Oh, is it Alex Wood?
Byron Buxton by $2 million.
Why is that? Why would that doesn't blow my mind?
I don't know. It just shows you.
And didn't they re-signed what's his face?
Anthony DeSclafani, and we got into like an argument about it.
Yeah, I just I don't know. Their pitchers, their rotation just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. It just doesn't like jump off the screen. It doesn't like impress me at all. And Giants fans are over here deep throating it the whole time. But like it besides Logan Webb, it was kind of like mediocre performances in that playoff series. Like I don't know, man. And that their rotation really struggled in the last 2 months of the season too. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want them to get a dog, dude. I want them to get a fucking dog. Logan Webb will be a dog, but he's just not there yet. He's too young. You know, they need to get a Matt Cain to Logan Webb to the Madison Bumgarner, which is Logan Webb.
Yeah, looking at the remaining guys who are free agents, there's nobody. Oh, Carlos Rendon's available, which that'll be. I think he's probably like the best available pitcher right now. It's like, and then Kershaw, but Kershaw's.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We'll see.
Maybe there's a trade to be made. I don't know. Maybe Logan Webb will make that massive step up next season.
Ooh, I got a potential. I think it would be really awesome. For the Giants.
Third season, right? No, Logan Webb. It'll be his third season, third season.
Somewhere
season.
There.
Yeah.
Zach Cranky.
He's fallen off quite a bit, dude.
Giants levels, guys. But I get it.
They do.
We're Giant haters. We'll admit it. But at the same time, we like when they're competitive. I think we enjoy baseball a little bit more when the Giants are competitive. Mm-hmm. And it's weird that like
I don't enjoy baseball Twitter when the Giants are competitive because the Giants fans are ignorant and stupid and they don't understand baseball. But
they're ugly. Anyways, we were kind of hoping for and we talked about it this whole summer when they're played so well. Like the splash is coming. Like they're going to make a deal this offseason. They have the money. They got freed up even more money when Buster retired. And it just kind of seems like if the desire was to go get pitching, you missed the train.
Yeah.
Like you should have
went for Robbie Ray, should have went for Corey Kluber, should have
locked up
Gausman.
Yeah. John Gray, I think would have been awesome as a Giant, but who knows? It's weird. I think this is one that I guess we have to wait and see, but I don't like it. I don't like that they've been so stagnant.
They haven't done anything except for they haven't done anything. So there's nothing except for lose their second best pitcher, arguably the best pitcher last year. So there's nothing that would make me think that they're going to be as good or better next season. I know like Giants fans were super like hyped on Marcus Semien, and they like heard these rumors like, oh yeah, we're talking to him. We hope we get him. Well, guess what? He didn't sign with you. So it's time to nut up or shut up. Are you going to go in on Chris Bryant or what? Because every Giants fan I talked to was like, nah, fuck Chris Bryant. Like he didn't play that well down the stretch last year. We want Marcus Semien. Well, guess what? You can't get him. So do you want to at least to like try to get Chris Bryant back? Or
Carlos Correa? Move Brandon Crawford a second.
You think he'll play second? Brandon Crawford's not going to play second. He just
I think he'd be 1-2. I would rather have Correa. I love Crawford at short, but I'd rather have Correa right now for the future and just move him over. My last worst one, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Mark Melanson. Why the hell are you signing in the
one? Did you say all your best ones?
No, we have one more best. We each have one more best.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sorry. Just make sure.
Honorable mention to Mark Melanson. Why the hell are you signing with the Diamondbacks?
Dude,
what the hell are you doing, dude?
That was close on my list too. What the fuck?
What do you like? Get paid? Sure.
You're one of the best closers in the league. You're gonna go to the one of the shittiest teams in the NL.
You could have been way better off in Boston. You could have been way better off with the Giants. Could have been way better off with.
Well, he already tried with the Giants and he failed. Remember, so the Giants fans fucking hate him.
That's true. You could have re-signed with the Padres. There's so many like why to Arizona? If you want to get paid, cool. But like they're not going to be contending. You know, you might have nice numbers, but it's a mess.
Go back to St. Louis. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with another spicy one. Javi Baez to the Tigers.
Oh, you don't like that one?
I don't like it.
That's my last best. I like that one.
So, look, the Tigers
said they were going to make moves this offseason, and they
did
it.
And I'm glad they did. Yeah. I was kind of like, I think we were all pretty much like, oh, this Carlos Correa to Detroit thing was like a lock deal. And like, it's going to happen. He's going to be right at this manager. He's going to be the face of the franchise, all this stuff. And then they went and got Javi, who I've always liked him. I think he's a really dynamic shortstop, but offensively, you're starting to see how over the last couple of years, like this dude is so one-dimensional. Dude is like
he can definitely hold on. They can definitely still get Carlos Correa because Javi Baez started his career at second base. He can go back to second base.
His contract, 6 years, $140 million. And like, if it's one to go get paid, go for it. If it's one to go and probably play with like one of your idols and Miguel Cabrera, awesome. But I just don't see like, are they going to be a better team going forward with him? I don't know. In that division where everything's up like kind of a toss up that could make that jump, you're just going to have a lot of these young guys with like, I don't know what's his name. Spencer Torkelson's going to be coming up at third one of these days. And you're just going to have, I forgot the other prospects off the top of my head, but you're just going to have a guy who's kind of like an inconsistent hitter. And you want somebody that they can go in there and learn the game and learn to be that veteran presence. Cause like, I don't know how much longer we got Miguel Cabrera playing baseball anymore. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to kind of hand it over to this guy who like he's shown, like, I don't know how much of a leader he is. I don't know what his offensive game is going to be like. Is this going to be it? Can he adapt to being a more well-rounded hitter where he can hit for average, he can get on base and not just like, fuck it, home runs, going for it every time. That's what I want to see. And it's like, we'll see. I don't know, man. I'm just a little pessimistic about it.
I mean, we said it like 2 podcasts ago that like based on like what we're hearing and the moves that they've kind of made is that they're going to kind of go for it. I don't think they're done yet. So I think this is a really good core piece of that team that they can kind of help keep building around. And honestly, it kind of, it attracts other free agents too. They're like, oh, I got someone to play with now. I have someone to hit in front of me or behind me. Like, oh, this sounds great. Oh, like it. And like we said, that division fucking sucks. Like they could easily make a move, and especially in expanded playoffs, as they expanded to 8, where the second best team. Remember it's the top 2 teams in the division make the playoffs. Like it easily get that second playoff spot. I don't know. And like Detroit has not had to face their team in years. Like it's Miguel Cabrera, sure, but like often in terms of national, like people forget that Miguel Cabrera is still playing half the time. Like now they have like an actual face of their team. I think that's important because that does pay off in the long run because it again attracts the attention of free agents and stuff like that. I don't know. I like it. I'm a fan. Maybe I'm just envious because the A's don't do
Was that your last one?
Yeah, that was my last one. So what's your last one?
I'm just somehow they always pull it off and they're going to be like, oh, great. They figured it out. Corey Kluber to the Rays.
You like that one, huh?
Yeah. I think they do a pretty solid job of like, cool, come here for 1 year, show that you can still do it, work with our guys, and we're going to get you a new deal later. Michael Wacha got a deal with the Red Sox. Rich Hill got traded, then he got a deal with the Red Sox. They kind of are like this weird like farm system of old guy pitchers. And Corey Kluber had his moments last year with the Yankees. I didn't like the Yankee signing. I thought he would have been better off going to a place that would be a little more friendly hitter or pitcher friendlier for coming off of like major injuries. But he threw no hitter. He had a few solid starts. And I think having that familiarity with the division going into the Rays, who are the Rays look better than ever, even though they traded Joey Wendell, they're just going to keep getting better with all these guys. They re-signed Wander Franco to like a 10-year deal. I like it. It's a high risk or a low risk, high reward kind of deal. Does he really have nothing left in it? Cool. 1 year, you're done. Does he have something left? Cool. Well, we have somebody who's going to help this rotation that we just didn't have last year once Glasnow ran down. And they really could have used it in the playoffs. So I like it.
Yeah, I think they missed that veteran leadership just in the clubhouse and also in the rotation when they lost. What's his face to the Braves? Oh my God. Refresh my memory.
Charlie
Morton. But at the same time, like I just don't know if he can stay healthy, dude. He's not shown that the past 3 seasons. You're right though. It is a 1-year deal. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's middle of the pack. I'm not saying it's bad. It was definitely, I wasn't sold on it. I don't know.
So there's one deal, and this should have been A's news that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
Oh my God. Okay, let's get this quick. I'm getting super fucking tired.
Yeah, me too. The A's signed a Taiwanese prospect. I don't know if you read about this.
Oh, I thought you were the Guerra one. No.
The which one? Okay. Yeah, cool. Great job. Chen Zhong Yao Zhuang, probably butchering his name. Taiwanese pitcher, right-hander, and bless you. It sounds like what I'm hearing from him is like he's going to be pretty comparable if he can make it to the majors to like a Sean Manaea type guy where he's not going to have overwhelming stuff, but he's going to have things that'll work really well in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
We'll see if we see him, but that's like a deal that Days haven't done much, but I think that's a nice one.
Pretty much since Cespedes, every time they sign like a international guy, like one of these international guys to like these these important contracts where it's like, oh, this guy's like, like he's like a big star. He's gonna like a big prospect. Every time they've done that since then, it's kind of been a miss. Like, remember that shortstop they got from Japan? I forgot his name. And he ended up like not even making the team in 2013. Like, and it was a big deal because remember in 2012 they didn't have a shortstop. Like Cliff Pennington was a shortstop, and Steven Drew was a shortstop or something like that.
God.
Yeah, and remember, I think in his press conference he said like the smooth, sexy swab of Billy Beane was what got me to sign with the A's. Anyway, that guy didn't pan out. Like, there's been a few guys like that, so I don't really get my hopes up too much for those dudes anymore because yeah.
Hiroki Nakajima.
That's his name. That was a bug.
Yeah, he signed a 2-year, $6.35 million deal.
Yeah,
And yeah, just
he didn't even make the team in spring training.
Dude, he was an 8-time All-Star in Japan.
And there was like this massive like press conference and everything. It was a total bummer.
Yeah, I know. Now that you said the smooth sexiness of Billy Beane, I'm like, yep, I remember that.
Yeah. All right.
Red flag. Yeah. All right, Chris.
That's gonna do it for this pod. When there's more news to be newsable, we'll hop on and we'll do another one. And we'll announce it on Twitter. But we don't know because we don't know if there's going to be anything really to talk about, unfortunately. Maybe when they hire a manager, we can talk about it, but it wouldn't be a long one. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure to keep up on Twitter, though. We've been talking a lot about the Warriors because, hey, best team in basketball, baby.
Yeah.
They're back.
Yeah, it's fun. Tweeting Warriors Twitter is always a good time. And we know a lot of you guys are Warriors fans. So, yeah.
1 for 1. There you go.
1 for 1. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Last but not least, Julio.
Let's go, Oakland. Happy holidays.
Oh, happy holidays. It's good call. I didn't think about that one. Happy holidays, everybody.